So today we're here with Massimo de Noja, and he's a restaurateur, liaison for a lot of Italian restaurants into America, and he's also a pioneer in the robotics world in food. Did I miss anything?
No, that's kind of sums it up.
So today we're going to talk about like what your favorite foods were and are during different periods of your life, and then also discuss how certain influences came about during those times. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Perfect.
So your family has a hotel in Italy, right?
Not any longer. We had them for 7 generations. My mom ran the last of our family hotels, and so now they're out. Only my cousins own the hotel, so not my direct family, my relatives.
Okay, but that's where you started cooking, right? At the hotel.
Yeah, I grew up inside. I was born and raised in a hotel. So was my father, and so was my grandfather.
So you guys lived in the hotel?
Yep.
Oh, wow, that's cool. So What were your favorite foods to make and eat during that time?
Listen, of course, being the son of an Italian chef, Italian food is there at the forefront, right? My family's from the north of Italy, from the Lake District. For as much as you might think that pasta is the number one thing or pizza is the number one thing there, I grew up eating more rice than pasta because we're in a very, very interesting area in the north there. There's a lot of rice fields. And so we grew up eating risotto almost every day. It's still one of my favorite things in the entire world, not just to eat, but to make. Every time that I make risotto at home, I channel my mother. She's not around any longer, but I remember when I was a kid just watching her making it. And every time that I make risotto myself, I get that feeling, right? I remember she used to tell me that in order to make the perfect risotto, the risotto has to suffer the thirst, meaning you add just a little bit of broth at a time, right? So it has to be thirsty constantly. And for those 20 minutes, you can't stop stirring it. And so, it's just almost like a spiritual experience every time that I make that dish.
Oh, wow. So what's your favorite kind of risotto, or was your favorite kind of risotto?
It's very interesting because the typical risotto is risotto alla Milanese, which is with saffron and nothing else, right? In Milano, in the city, they add an ossobuco right next to it. But truly is this saffron risotto, which is the beautiful yellow risotto. Yeah. I absolutely love to pick tomatoes from my garden and just put the tomatoes in the risotto, and it's absolutely delicious. And then again, if I want something that's absolutely pure, I just pick some fresh basil. I cook the risotto with the butter, and then I turn it off. Once it's ready, I throw in a nice big chunk of fresh basil and butter, and I stir it. And that's when all the flavors just transposes from the basil into the rice. And it's just absolutely, it is delicious. It's so light and so tasty.
That sounds so good. Okay, all right. We have to move on though. How did you come up with the idea of Kitchen United? Like, what inspired you?
So not only being an operator, I owned and operated restaurants my whole entire life, but I have done a lot of consulting for various brands for a number of years. And so up until 6 or 7 years ago, we realized that, we were designing, building, and starting up restaurants for different brands. Up until 6 or 7 years ago, we realized we never designed a restaurant that was optimized for the delivery, for the ginormous amount of orders coming in from Grubhub, Uber Eats, and Postmates, and all of that, right? So right at that time, when all that traffic used to come into the restaurant, it created a major disruption under so many points of view. First of all, the kitchens were not designed, were not equipped for the off-premise. So if you had a full dining room, all these orders coming in, they would create a mess because now you had a packed dining room. You had to prepare the food to go for all these orders, which meant that if you did make those dishes, your diners would be waiting much longer for their food, right? And if you didn't, then you would leave a lot of business on the table because, most people turn off all of those apps and say, no, between 12 and 2, I don't want to take any orders. But then, that's really the time when all the to-go orders are coming in. Same thing between, 6 and 8 at night, they would shut them off. So they would leave a lot of orders on the table. So, and then, of course, all the drivers coming in and crowding the bar or the host stand. I mean, it was just a total mess because nobody had foreseen this coming. So I'm like, well, there's got to be a better way. Why don't I take over a specific space and I rent it out to all the different brands, all the restaurant friends of mine that are having a very hard time doing this delivery. And I just optimize the spaces for the off-premise only. So even a restaurant friend that has a restaurant in Santa Monica, I take them over to Pasadena where they don't have an outpost. Now, because they're already known, people don't have to go from Pasadena to Santa Monica to go and experience that food. They can order it in Pasadena or in West Hollywood or anywhere else. And so that's where the idea was born, trying to fix an issue that was becoming bigger and bigger every minute.
That makes a lot of sense. And for those who are still a little bit unclear, Kitchen United has kitchens only for the delivery services. So if you order from something popular like Cheesecake Factory, I don't think they're with Kitchen United, but if Cheesecake Factory, not the restaurant, had like an off-site kitchen specifically to pick up delivery orders from, that's what Kitchen United does. So they have the kitchens for various restaurants to use and pick up the orders.
Yeah, the cherry on top for a ghost kitchen like Kitchen United and a few other brands, because then a whole bunch of people, 6 years ago, nobody knew what a ghost kitchen was. There wasn't even a name for it, right? So when we started, there wasn't even, and so we were raising the funds for it. People were laughing at us. It's like, that's never going to happen. You crazy. People just want to go to the restaurant. They don't want the food delivered at home. Well, they were proven wrong, right? But what happened is that with all of the other, let's call it DSP, the delivery service provider, the Grubhub, Uber Eats, and so on. If you want to order something for you, but you want sushi, your husband wants steak, and your kids want pizza or hot dogs, you have to do 4 different orders on 4 different platforms with 4 different delivery fees being delivered 4 different times. And so you never get that quality time with your family, right? So you know how precious that time is right now. If you have only half hour because the kids are doing homeworks, wife loves to shop online, the husband is still doing Zoom calls, it's a mess. So if you can actually get one order all at the same time, it's very beneficial. So that's what we did. We created Kitchen United Mix, and pretty much you can cherry pick whatever you want. You go on the platform and you can order steak, you can order sushi, you can order, a hot dog from Doghouse, and a pizza from Fresh Brothers, and sushi from Sushi Roku or Mama Musubi, and so on. All with one order, with one click of the button, and it gets delivered all at the same time, one delivery charge. And there you have it. So that's what it's called, Kitchen United Mix.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that part. It's crazy. So there's an app.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to find that. Basically, you also got Italy and Obica into the US, correct? You started Obica?
Obica, yes, was one of my ventures, one of my restaurants. We had the exclusive rights for the United States. It was a good run. After a few restaurants, I cashed out from there. And Italy, we were just really good friends with just everyone, from the management to ownership. Never had a partnership or anything with Italy, but I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of it.
Since you've been in and out of the US for a bit now, have you changed your views on traditional Italian cuisine? Do you have altered, what are your favorites? Do you have anything like in America you wish they do in Italy, and, stuff like that?
No, I think that, look, the tradition of the Italian food, the simplistic recipes, right? Two ingredients into a pasta dish so that you don't put, 5 or 6 or 10 ingredients where after you add them all in, you can't even taste one of them, right? Because you're just tasting a mix of kind of things. So if you're a purist, like in Italy, you make a pasta with two ingredients. That's when the flavors really just explode in your mouth. You can really taste that dish, and that's what we're used to. But I've been open to a number of interesting things, and look, I don't mind a barbecue pizza. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, I was in Minneapolis and I'm sitting with a big group of friends in a restaurant that's owned by Ann Kim, who's, a fantastic chef, one of the most talented chefs. She's Korean. And she's been nominated for James Beard multiple years. And I'm sitting in her restaurant. She's got this beautiful wood burning fireplace. And a lot of us, it was a table of 12 or 14. A lot of us order pizza. Then, of course, Italian, I eat I order my bufalina, pizza with tomato and buffalo mozzarella. And the gentleman sitting right next to me is ordering a Korean pizza. And it's got kimchi and it's got some dark leafy things on it. And I'm eating my pizza and I asked the guy, you want to try mine? It's like, yeah, you want to try mine? And I'm like, no, I'm not so sure. And then I tasted that pizza and it just absolutely blew me away. It tasted so much better than my bufalina pizza. It was incredible. And so that was a total eye opener, right? And this is a few years ago. And so I stay open to look, it's like crossing the borders. That doesn't mean that you don't want to go out of your country, right? So same thing with your palate, with your flavors. It's nice to be able to create dishes with different ingredients, even though it could be a pasta, right? I mean, I had a fantastic pasta with a guacamole sauce, which most people will go, what, are you crazy or something? No, it was absolutely fantastic. It was a black linguine, so a squid linguine, but he had a guacamole spicy sauce, and it was just, insane, right? But then again, I'm very adventurous. I'm not stuck and set on my roots. I traveled the world, and I loved going to the offbeat places. I never go where the tourists go. I try to figure out where the locals are going. If I see a truck driver that's pulling up somewhere, I'm like, oh, I want to know where that guy's going to eat because he probably knows where the real food is, right? So that's my view, though.
What are your thoughts on Alfredo?
I don't know what Alfredo is. I have a friend named Alfredo in Italy. I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's really funny. Well, Alfredo doesn't exist in Italy, right? Like Caesar salad doesn't exist in Italy. It is what it is. It is, I think it's a great thing for kids. Kids get a total kick out of it. I don't know adults eating Alfredo, but
3 ingredients. It's 3 ingredients.
Yeah, I know.
Pasta,
yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. If people enjoy it, great. It's not one of my. I don't think I would ever order Alfredo sauce on something.
You ever tried it?
Have I tried it? Yes, I have tried it.
And it was awful to you.
Yeah, I have to tell you a funny story. Okay. When I was gone over Christmas, my girlfriend stayed in my house, watching the plants and all of that. And I come back and I open the refrigerator, and there is a cacio and pepe sauce in a jar. And I picked up the phone and I called her. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? I could not believe there was actually in an Italian home, there was a jar of cacio e pepe.
I guess I'm not Italian then. I didn't know.
It is an Italian thing, but I think it was a Trader Joe's cacio e pepe or something like that. Like those. God, there's probably more sugar than anything else in there. When I have made cacio e pepe for her numerous times,
Mm-hmm. That's hilarious. Okay, last question. What's your favorite American food, not pizza, American food that you wish was more popular in Italy, if there is one?
I want to say, well, funny. It would not be an American dish, right?
Right.
It would definitely be, true Mexican food. Because I absolutely love Mexican food, and I'm talking about the mom and pops, right? The ones like you would go and that this is done the right way. I tend to go, and now the name is totally escaping me, totally even a brain fart, but there's a place down in Venice that small casa.
There's so Casa de
Yeah, but absolutely delicious. And this is right. The mom and the kids are running the restaurant, and you go in and you already know that the food is going to be amazing, even if you've never been there, right? That's one thing. And then, maybe more, there's really no Thai food in Italy. I absolutely love Thai food.
Like pad Thai?
I'm sorry?
Like pad Thai or the spring rolls, or like what? Like what's specific?
No, I think mostly the meats that you get in the Thai food. We were very blessed in LA because you go down here in Hollywood or East Hollywood, and you're so lucky because you get so many of those great restaurants. One of my favorite dishes is skumang kai, and it's a chicken dish with rice and a bean sauce, and it's a very simple dish. It's hard to make, but it's a very simple dish. It's 4 ingredients, but it's one of my favorite thing. I can eat 4 helpings of that. I just cannot stop eating. My ex-girlfriend was making it at home, and sometimes I feel like that's the thing I miss the most about her. No, I'm just kidding. She's a dear friend, and she's very talented. She cooks branzino. She cooks everything. But that is a dish that I absolutely love. And I didn't grow up with it. And now I wish I had it on a regular basis, right?
Basically, what I'm getting is when you grew up, you liked risotto, everything with rice. And even your favorite thing you wish was in Italy is made with rice. And
that's very true. That's very true. I didn't think about that, but yes, definitely.
And Mexican food has a lot of rice if you want it. Yeah.
True. I love a nice, rice bowl with chicken tinga and some really nice stuff.
That sounds good.
Tokai Organica does some really great chicken tinga, so I like that. It's the only thing that I eat at Tokai Organica.
Okay, I'll give you that. I don't eat meat anymore, but I remember chicken tinga. And yeah, okay. If that's good, Tokai, I'll take your word for it. Well, thank you for doing this with me today. And I hope you had fun.
I did. Thank you so much. You have a great weekend.